Really apologize.
First time. But...
No, we're excited.
Okay.
Just for today.
What's up?
Shoot.
Well, what are you guys? What is your overarching goal with the show?
6,000
episodes.
That one, perfect, done.
Amazing.
Yes.
Here's
about
rehearse that outside.
Yeah.
Like, right?
No, that's sweet. Yeah, that's no.
The truth is, like we had said during the panel, and it sounds corny, but this show has become a show that's family friendly. I'd say for the most part, we try to avoid too much gunplay, too many naughty words. If there's romance going on, it's a kiss,
Right.
and not too graphic. So I think our goal with this show is to allow people to come home on a Monday at the start of a tough week and have some escapism in a hyper reality type of world. That's not. I'm wrong.
I don't know what he's talking about. Yes.
I don't know what show you're watching.
I don't know what you're talking about. No, there's one. I think we've fallen into this very, very interesting place with the show where it is. There's a lot of humor to it. It's fun. It is escapist, but they're very. These characters to us, they fall into a very real place, even though they do a lot of crazy things. But that they are brilliant on one hand, and on the other hand, they're totally inept. I mean, they're so bad. I mean, you saw. I don't know if you didn't see the episode today. We were just watching this panel, but like Walter calling to ask a girl out on a date is just it's. I could have watched it for 2 hours because he's so bad at it. Yet on the other hand, he
Reminded him of many moments of his youth.
It was very painful for me,
mine's
and I feel better now. Not to be alone, but it was like to see him be able to see him be so bad at that, but on the other hand, stop a tornado. That's fun. I mean, I think there's people who have wonderful talents and something, but on the other hand, they're not so great. That I think is effortless. So that's why I think we really love doing this, and I think we can show aspects of that over many, many years, because that's a developing person and developing characters that we can watch as well. And all of them are like that too.
Now you said it's developing into a family show, so that wasn't the intent. Because I have a family. This is one of my kids right here.
What's up, pal?
And I've never felt uncomfortable watching it around them or allowing them to watch it. It's always, that's one of the things that really has kept me watching, is the family element of these random kind of strange people being brought together and creating that family.
It was meant to be an action comedy, which I think it is. The comedy aspect during the pilot process, I think, was the most challenging part to get everyone on board with. CBS is an incredible company who has so much success in television, but their procedurals have always worked in a certain way. And this show was a procedural with a lot of humor in it. And once everyone saw that it worked, we were encouraged to keep going with the humor. And CBS just was so supportive of it after they saw, oh my gosh, this works, keep going with it. And once you get to have more fun, I think by definition, fun equals family, family equals fun. Yeah. So it just became even more family friendly. There are action comedies like Midnight Run that I cannot watch with children, or 48 Hours is an action comedy. This is an action comedy that's just one I think you can watch with a fourth, fifth, sixth grader.
But I do think that that's something that developed out of. I mean, when you. First season of a show is like you don't really know what you have. You really are you're trying a million things, and you see what works and what doesn't work. And once you start to get to know your cast and see, where their heart is, and they have this cast has so much heart, and you can really play to that, and play to their sweetness, and play to their awkwardness, and play to their how they're striving,
their
vulnerabilities, and when you have that, and they're very honest and very sort of sweet at their core, that's what the show is. And it's like when you deviate from that, we feel it. You're like, okay, well, that's an interesting idea, but it just doesn't feel like what the show is. So, and we've learned that trial and error. I mean, that's trial and error. So you see, as you go on, where the show's sweet spot is, and it really is in its heart and sort of being inclusive.
Yeah, action comedy with a lot of heart.
With a lot of heart.
And that's just kind of what it's fallen into. And we like writing it.
Now, you joked about 6,000 episodes, but did you do you have like an end in mind?
I have in my mind, honestly, the last line of the series, whenever that comes. I hope it doesn't come for a long time, but kind of thought about that for a while now, since season 1, what that would be and the last scene and where it would end up. Just hope it's not for a while.
Yeah.
We work with very talented, great people. The writers are wonderful. The production team is wonderful. The cast is wonderful. You don't get that a lot. Not in this business, just in any business. You could work in a dental office and the hygienist could be a jerk. You don't know.
They're always coming at you with flaws.
Yeah, just constantly. They floss till you bleed.
Like, what? I tried.
And no one, they yell at you for not, and they give you those numbers like, oh, this is a 4, then it's a 3, and you have gum loss, and you don't want to hear that. and the truth is when you get to work with people that are just nice people, you don't want that to end. So we're just hoping it goes for as long as the stories can stay fresh and CBS wants us.
Can you talk a little bit about the romance? I know fans were really excited for Toby and Flynn. There's a lot of wage involved. How's like the timing with bringing all of these romantic couples together?
We play a lot with this as the season goes on, and we sort of tease a lot of little moments and stuff as things go forward. And you see, where one relationship moves faster, another is sort of really kind of clunking along and finding its way, which is obviously Walter and Paige. While Toby has sort of like, he's moving on because he knows what he wants and this is who he is. And I know, I read that stuff online. I watch people's reaction to it, and they can get very frustrated with it, which I think we get it. And I think that what is important to understand is it's really true to Walter's character. If you saw him go from who he was in the pilot, which was so reserved and so in love, to all of a sudden having a romantic, an unencumbered romantic relationship, it would not be true to who he is. Toby's incredibly compulsive, very fast, knows what he wants, moves towards it. So these things really move at the pace of the character development. So I know we infuriate some people, but it really goes towards what we see as a much longer term goal, 6,000 episodes, where where it really sort of is developing over what we see.
It's 300 seasons.
300 seasons.
That's a really long romance.
We're gonna get there. We're gonna get there. Don't worry. We got plans for this.
And we still wouldn't beat the Gunsmoke record.
Yeah, we still wouldn't beat Bonanza.
Oh, Bonanza, Gunsmoke.
But it's I think that's how we sort of play these things and we look at them, on what speed that they're going. So we keep all this. It's very much forefront because they are, again, those relationships are the heart of the show, and they really keep, as many of the shows that Santoro's worked on, that I've worked on, what you remember about them, 10, 12 years I worked on NYPD Blue, I couldn't tell you a case, but I could tell you what the emotional entanglements were. And that is what I think what we want to leave people with.
So is it safe to assume in order to push that along, that's why we have Scott Porter brought on the show?
He's the fly in the ointment.
Yeah.
I mean, he's the great fly in the ointment. It's one of those things where I think, if Walter moves at his own pace, and his pace is extremely slow, and because this is not where he's great. He's like what I was saying at the beginning. He's brilliant on one hand, but on the other hand, he's totally inept, and he's learning it. But it's like he says, "I have no feelings, and I'm without emotional EQ." But we see that he has these aspirations, and in order to know what you're missing, I think you have to see it threatened. And I think that's what we're doing. Is we're showing Walter, what he could lose.
So did you read the internet and all the fan feedback?
I am certainly exposed to it.
Is there something that
I don't
caught you
have
by
any
surprise?
online accounts.
I
can barely use
that was
anything.
popular, or something that kind of you thought, oh, this is something they're really latching on to. Let's develop that maybe you didn't realize or think that would be something that would catch on.
There was one nod that we gave once. Like I was saying before, I don't have a Twitter, don't have a Facebook, don't have a.
How do you live?
I don't have any of that. I honestly know how to use my script writing software program, and that's it. But people in the office had told me early on in the show's run that, they're calling Happy and Toby Quintus or Tappy, and there's a battle. Some people want to call it Tappy, some people want to call it Quintus. And that was it. And it's kind of stuck in the back of my head. And then when we were writing the episode where Toby announces his love for Happy, he uses the phrase Quintus. And when I had I don't know, when I remembered it and we put it in the script, and it was honestly because it worked in the script, but a bonus was maybe the people who like the terminologies would get a kick out of it. So it was kind of a nod to us. I guess that kind of came out of
Absolutely.
online.
And I would say story direction not so much, because I think the reaction is there. I mean, what's going on online is about 2 months behind us, so it's kind of already beyond what they have the ability to react to, which is what they're seeing.
People are reacting to episode 16. They're like,
We're doing
episode 17 better have, and we're doing episode 22.
And you're like, you kind of really
We've already
can't.
filmed 17, 18, 19, so you can't ever react or respond to anything anyway.
The only thing I would say is patience will pay off. People get really, which is I think great. Any connection, when people connect, it's something we pay attention to. But that those relationships, we keep them in mind as well. They're not the only ones. It's not like we don't need to be reminded, but we certainly. I like that people get into it. But we're like, we got you. We're good. We'll take care of you. We promise.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Thank